Hi guys, welcome back to Nico Talks Hockey. Today we're talking more fantasy. Specifically, we're talking about 15 of my favorite sleeper picks in fantasy drafts for the 25-26 NHL season. This is a topic that I love talking about because, at least in my experience, this is how you win your leagues in fantasy. You find the sleeper picks that are, they're down in the draft. They're not high up. They're like, diamonds in the rough, hidden gems. That if you have the know-how and you can get these players before other people do, or they don't even know about these players and how good they could be, for the upcoming season, it could absolutely make or break your league and decide whether you win or lose the league. So I think that these are 15 players. Actually, I have 17 players here because I got two honorable mentions that I want to throw in as well. Yeah, these are very sneaky picks, and they should not be as low as they are ranked. Again, I'm just like I did for my goalie video. I'm using ESPN's kind of average draft position. So yeah, without further ado, I want to get right into it. I'll explain each pick along the way. As I go on, it's not really ranked. These players aren't really ranked. I kind of saved a couple of my favorite ones for the last, but these are all good value picks in my opinion. So going into the honorable mentions before I get into the top 15 here. The two honorable mentions, I'll include them both at the same time. It's Zach Benson and Yuri Kulich, both from, excuse me, the Buffalo Sabres. Both of them are not ranked. They're not in the top 250 for ESPN. I don't. It might not even be it's the top 250. Yeah, I was thinking maybe 300, but no. ESPN just shows the top 250. So yeah, Zach Benson and Yuri Kulich, I think, are both players that I didn't include in the top 15 just because I think that they're big bets to take. They're nothing for sure. Like, I think that Zach Benson will be eventually a great player. I just don't know if his breakout season will be this one. However, he is destined, or at least not destined, that's the wrong word, slated right now to be on the top line with Tage Thompson and perhaps Josh Norris. But if not Josh Norris, it's going to be Yuri Kulich, who might be that top center if Tage Thompson doesn't end up playing center. So that's, I understand that Buffalo, bit of a tire fire. We never know when they're going to get to the playoffs again. But in terms of fantasy, yeah, they can score some goals, and Benson is due to break out any day now, or it may not be the season again, but if you're betting on it, it's not a bad bet to take, along with Kulich as well. So let's get into the top 15 here. Again, these placements are not really, they don't matter too much, but I just kind of decided to loosely rank them based on how excited I am for these picks and where they're ranked. So another one that's not ranked is Snuggerud on the Blues. I'm trying to remember his first name. Is it Jimmy Snuggerud? I think so. I could be wrong. Any Blues fans, if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But Snuggerud is another player that's just not ranked, and he's on the Blues top line. Now, I just had my draft. A couple nights ago, and I picked him. I picked Snuggerud as my last pick because he was so far down the draft, order, and just like the placement. He was not ranked in the top 250. And I think that's definitely a mistake because I think that he's a sneaky Calder pick as well. Potentially, he could win Rookie of the Year or maybe top 3 finalist. Yeah, Snuggerud will get a ton of minutes playing on that top line with Thomas and Robert Thomas, one of the most underrated players in the league today, and then Pavel Buchnevich. So yeah, I think he'll get a lot of looks there. I mean, they were comfortable trading Zach Bolduc and getting Mayu back. And I think that they were comfortable with that because they have Snuggerud and they have a lot of those young players like Holloway and Neighbors. But Holloway will not be a top line guy, and it looks like Neighbors will probably be on the third line. So I think Snuggerud's got a great opportunity here. Moving on to another player that's just not ranked. There's going to be a few on here they're not ranked in the top 250 by ESPN's average draft position. So at number 14 is a personal favorite of mine, another player that I drafted myself, Sam Rinzel of the Chicago Blackhawks. He, if you've been watching a couple of videos recently, I stated in my 32 bold predictions video that I think that Sam Rinzel will win the Calder Trophy. Now, I know it, I get it, I'm a Blackhawks fan, what do you expect? But also, I genuinely believe it. I think that he's this under the radar pick. I think Demidov, he's the one who's the leading Ivan Demidov's the leading Calder favorite right now by a wide margin, and I get it, totally understand it. But I think that Sam Renzel will have an unbelievable year as the power play quarterback on the number one unit in Chicago. I think that he'll end up winning the Calder Trophy. He'll, as a defenseman, he'll probably get somewhere. I'm betting around 50 points. Now that's a lot, I get it, but maybe it's a little bit much, maybe 40 to 50 points, but it's going to be a lot, and a lot of them are going to be power play points. So as a fantasy manager, that's huge, right? Because for most leagues, especially the basic league in ESPN Fantasy, you get extra points for the power play. So yeah, Renzel is one to look out for a sneaky pick. Moving on to the next one, I've got Marco Casper in Detroit. He was ranked 117, so I didn't end up with Casper. I wanted him, but someone else grabbed him before I could, so maybe he's a little bit more known, and for a good reason. He's going to be, all likelihood, the number 2 center in Detroit there. So he's going to have, Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane on his wings. That's great. I don't know if he'll get top power play time. He might be on the second unit, but still, power play is power play. So that's helpful. Marco Casper is going to be really good. I think he's destined to be the number 2 center long term in Detroit. So that's awesome for him. And at 117, it's a bit of a steal if you can get him, for sure. Another one who I think is destined for a breakout season, Frank Nazar. Frank Nazar is my next pick for someone, just a sleeper pick, a great sleeper pick, because a lot of people are counting out Chicago this year, right? And I get it. I don't have them being a playoff team, but I do not have them being a bottom 3 team. That might surprise a lot of people, but I genuinely believe that. I think that they're going to have a kind of season, I've said this before, but I think they're going to have the kind of season that the Anaheim Ducks had last season. A season of internal improvement, and with Nazar being the number 2 center there in Chicago, having Bertuzzi and Teravainen, not the best wings in the world, but that's capable. It's in all likelihood those will be his wings. He'll get number 1 power play time. This guy's going to break out. He just had a hat trick. I know it was a preseason game, but he's got so much aura about him. And I wasn't able to grab him in my draft, but I envy the person who was able to grab him. So yeah, Frank Nazar, definitely a sleeper pick for me in the draft this year. Moving on, before we get into the top 10, this is the last pick outside of the top 10 here. Matthias Maccelli. Maccelli is another player that I think he was ranked at 209 in the average draft position for ESPN. I think that it depends all on his placement in the lineup. Right now, he is projected to be on the top line with Austin Matthews and Matthew Nyes. He's going to be Marner's replacement. We'll see how long that lasts. I was able to draft Matthias Maccelli in my fantasy draft. I am happy about that, but he is a player that I can see if he doesn't stay on that top line, if he moves down the lineup, if he goes to the third line, I'm dropping him. So he's a low risk, high reward play that I really like, and that's why I personally drafted him. So moving to the top 10 here, we've got Andrew Mangiapane of the Edmonton Oilers. Now, right now, he's on the third line. I did not pick him up, but he's on the waiver wire still, for me personally. And he's definitely someone you could take with your last pick or your second to last pick or something like that. He is not ranked by ESPN. So, yeah, I think that he is definitely a low-risk, high-reward kind of play. If you can take him with your last pick, like I said, and he ends up playing alongside Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl, and he's known to score goals. So yeah, if Isaac Howard ends up being someone who needs some time before being a top 6 kind of player, same with I saw that they were having Trent Frederick up there in the top 6. I don't know about that. So if he can shift spots with Mangiapane right now, that would be great. And if you can snag Mangiapane, it could be a great play, not even too far down the line. So, yeah, moving on. Another one here, for some reason, this is it shouldn't be a sneaky pick. It's Ivan Demidov. He is not ranked on ESPN's top 250. I could not find him in the top 250. He's somewhere farther down the lineup. So, that is just crazy to me because he is the far and away, like I said, Calder favorite for this season. So, yeah, if you can get Demidov, absolutely, by all means, get him. Another just, this is not even like what I have listed here, but I've noticed that Slavkovsky, another Montreal Canadian, is falling a bit. I don't know why that is, but he's going to play on the top line with Suzuki and Caulfield. Grab Slavkovsky because I could see another, big. I could see a big year for him, but he is not one of the players I've included here on my top 15 sleeper picks. Just want to throw that in for any extra advice. Now moving, this is 8th. I've got Logan Cooley. I predict a huge breakout year for Logan Cooley. I was disappointed that I was not able to grab him, but he's ranked at 86th average draft position. So yeah, I think he's going to be the number one center this season in Utah. So he's going to have Keller and maybe Peterka on his wings. Gunther could end up being a top line guy. So he's gonna have it's such a potent offense for the Mammoth right now, and Logan Cooley stands to benefit a ton. I think this is his breakout year. I really am predicting that. So Cooley, I could see 70 points for Cooley this season. It's gonna be a big one. So yeah, at 86, if you can get him around there, absolute steal. Moving on to the top 7. At 7th, I've got Jackson Lacombe. Now, in my fantasy this year, I was doing it with a couple family members, and my younger brother, got Jackson Lacombe. I didn't even know he knew Jackson Lacombe because I didn't know he knew, but it's an elite ball knowledge from him, honestly, because I think Lacombe is one of the sneakiest picks and one of the best underrated picks to get this year. At 92, he's ranked at 92 for ESPN. He can end up being, like your third defenseman, and that would be an awesome ad because, with Joel Quenneville, yes, he's a coach that in Anaheim now. I think he's a coach that is great defensively. He runs great defensive systems. He is not a coach that will only run defense. He is a guy that wants to see your offense, clicking. It's fast. It's coming at you. So Lacombe is going to benefit a lot if he ends up being, and last year he was the number one power play defenseman. If he sticks as that, watch out, because I predict big things for the Ducks this year, and Lacombe is going to be one of the biggest, benefactors there. I think that Jackson Lacombe is one of the best sneaky picks for this year. Moving in almost to the top 5, at number 6, I got Alex Tuck. He's at number he's 80 for ESPN. If you get him around there, I think that it's still a nice value play because he's in a contract year. I think that's probably the biggest thing going for him right now. Alex Tuck, he's not just a one-dimensional kind of guy. He's not just a points guy. He gets you goals and he gets you blocks. He is one of the best kind of just underrated underrated forwards to get you blocks. And in ESPN, blocks are a really nice, way of getting points. 0.5 points for every block. So he'll get you blocks along with the assists and the goals. And in a contract year, Alex Tuck, I think, will be a very nice play in fantasy this season. Moving to the top 5. Now, this is a player that is a bit of a more risky pick just because he is not signed. It's Luke Hughes of the New Jersey Devils. Luke Hughes is not signed, and that is a curse and a blessing for fantasy drafters. It's a curse because you don't know when he's going to get signed. What if he misses the start of the season? How many games is he going to miss? So on and so forth. It's a blessing because his draft position is so low. He's getting picked in the last 5 picks. And if he's your last defenseman, he's your 5th or 6th defenseman on your team, that is like genuinely one of the best picks you can have, assuming he starts the season, assuming he plays game 1. Because, Jack Hughes didn't say that he wants Luke Hughes to be the number 1 power play, quarterback for no reason. I'm not saying Dougie Hamilton, leaves or gets traded or something, which could happen, but I'm not saying that happens. I just think that maybe Luke Hughes usurps Dougie Hamilton in that spot. Maybe they run 2 defensemen on the back there. I don't know. But I think that Luke Hughes is going to have a crazy season. He just has to get it signed. So a little bit more risky of a pick, but I think he might be really worth it, honestly. Moving to the top 4 here, another defenseman ranked at 90. He should be a lot higher. It's Jake Sanderson of the Ottawa Senators. Sanderson is one of my favorite players. like I'd say he's probably my favorite player in Ottawa, one of them. But he's quickly becoming one of my favorite players, like in the league. He's so young, but he plays such a mature game, and he just looks beyond his years in terms of his playmaking ability, and just like he's already going to be the number one defenseman in Ottawa, usurping Shabbat and everybody there. So just really impressive from Sanderson, the Sandman. Yeah, if he could absolutely be like your. I mean, he has potential to be like your number one defenseman in fantasy this season. Now, you'd probably be better off having as your number two, but still, I expect big things not just from Sanderson, but from Ottawa's as a whole, as a team. I've said before, I expect them to be the number one team in the Atlantic. I said in my goalie fantasy video that Linus Ullmark is my favorite value pick this season for fantasy goalies. So yeah, Sanderson is another player in Ottawa that I expect big things from. The top three here, though, we've got Travis Konechny, who's ranked 88th, just above Sanderson, actually. Travis Konechny has long been one of my favorite players, but, at 88th, and now he's got some really good line mates, right? He's got Zegras on the top power play, and he's got Michkov. It's just, he's got some more line mates, and I could see something like, 90 to 95 points. I could genuinely see a season like that from Travis Konechny, with a new coach, not Torts anymore. It's going to be, I think, a little bit better going for Konechny, and he could really see a career year in Philly. So yeah, at 88th, I think would be crazy. I personally got Konechny in my fantasy draft. I'm so happy. I've never gotten Konechny before, so this, in my opinion, is a really nice play if you end up going for Konechny. We're in the top two here, and the last two, including Konechny, I got all these players in my draft, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. It's not just like I'm saying these players and then like, oh, but I'm not gonna pick them. No, I'm totally gonna. I'm going down with the ship. If these picks are wrong, then I'm not gonna have a great season. But I am actually I've won fantasy 5 times. I've played for I'm going to my 8th season, and I've won. I'm a 5-time fantasy hockey champion. Humble brag, but just to give you maybe a little bit more confidence in these picks, I thought I might throw that in there. But at number 2, we've got Raymond. We've got Lucas Raymond from the Detroit Red Wings. He's ranked at 84th. So these kind of guys are all ranked in the same area. You probably only get 1 or 2 of them, but so you got to choose who you want the most. But Raymond had a career year last year. I think he at least equals that this season. I think he's only going to keep ascending. Raymond is one of my favorite players, not in just fantasy, but in the whole league. He's got so much swagger to him, so much confidence, and he's so young. So he's got, he's just, the sky's the limit for Raymond. He's also a clutch player. Like, I remember those. I know they didn't get in. Detroit didn't get in the playoffs, but when they were on the cusp 2 seasons ago, they were trying to get in, and they didn't end up getting in. But they had to like score against Montreal to get in, and they had to score 2 goals in like the final minute, and they ended up doing it to tie it and go to overtime, and I think they ended up winning the game. So it was a heartbreak they didn't get in the playoffs, but Raymond just knows how to score clutch goals. So he's awesome. He's a stud, and he's my second best sleeper pick. But my number 1 sleeper pick, the pick I think that will be the absolute best, and it is my ultimate diamond in the rough pick for the fantasy season in hockey. It is Leo Carlsson of the Anaheim Ducks. I'm expecting the breakouts of all breakouts. He was drafted 2nd overall in 2023 for a reason. This kid's going to be insane. And I think it starts this season. We saw it already a little bit last season, but I think a true breakout is this season, where you've got so many weapons on his wings, on the power play. You've got Jackson Lacombe there, as I said before. You've got Joel Quenneville now as your new head coach. I think this is the start of a true breakout Leo Carlsson. I could see potentially a point per game season for Leo Carlsson. But that is it. That is my top 15 sleeper picks for the 25-26 fantasy hockey season, with 2 honorable mentions just to throw in there. I hope you draft with confidence. These picks, I would not lead you astray. I believe in these picks very, very much. So again, just like I said in the fantasy goalies video, I wish you guys, if you guys haven't drafted yet, I wish you guys great drafts. And if you have drafted already, I wish you great season. I hope you win all your leagues if you have multiple. But yeah, I wish nothing but success in your fantasy hockey seasons. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This will not be the last fantasy video along the season. I'll probably be making more fantasy videos along the way and kind of giving updates of, like, you know, maybe these are the players that you should, it's time to drop them, you know, don't have belief in them or something. But I could definitely see myself making more fantasy videos as the season goes on. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean so much to me. And I will see you guys in the next video.